We'd like to welcome everyone out to this special session that we're hosting here at Shmoop with Arne Duncan on school climate from the student's perspective.
Thanks so much, Andy, and look forward to a really good conversation, and just appreciate our students taking the time. We as the old guys, the adults, can't spend enough time listening to you guys. As we go into the next school year, what grade are you going into, and how are you feeling about school safety, both at your specific school, but also across the country right now?
My name is Lawson Lay, and I'm 18 years old, and I'm going to go to University of Texas at Dallas. So living here in Texas has kind of been kind of surreal, as you go here to schools in Texas and you hear these horrible things happening, every other week or every other month or so. And so going into this freshman year into UTD, honestly, for school safety, I think that's like a number one priority more than anything else here in Texas, because you kind of have this stigma now in Texas. Now it's like, oh, guns everywhere, guns here. Where I live, there was a shooting not too far here in the neighborhood over, where just two people didn't get along with each other. It's kind of a little bit scary here down in Texas, but at the same time, we're trying not to think about it all the time, and you just say, always repeating to ourselves, like, it won't be me.
As a kid, you don't necessarily, or when you're younger, you don't necessarily understand what's really going on. You just go to school, learn, and, see your friends and try to have fun. But I remember when I was in 6th grade, at that time I was going to, I think, one of the top 3 public elementary schools in the city. But one of the things that happened was we had a bomb threat, right? And so at that time, you didn't really know what was going on. You didn't really understand that. But hearing from my parents how that freaked them out, and how it really just changed their mindset of appreciating the time. And it really just showed us that not even the top schools aren't the safest places, right? Because think about it, a number 1 public elementary school still had that scare. What about the other schools around the city of Chicago?
If there's one person you could sit down and have a conversation with to try and influence things and make things safer for you and your peers, 1, who would you like to have that conversation with? And 2, what would you like to see them change?
The governor of California, Gavin Newsom. I'd have like a sit-down conversation with him, because he is already doing things for schools. He just changed the start time. It has to be at 8:30. So he's already making changes for schools. So since he's already paying attention to that, I'd like to talk to him about that. And Burbank, I think they're trying to pass a law that makes it so that no more gun stores can open. And I think that Gavin Newsom is also involved in that. So I'd like to talk to him about it and ask him what further change he wants to see.
As we think about emotional health, as we think about mental health, the gun violence is a piece of that affects us, that impacts us, but also just this time that you've had away from peers and virtual school, hybrid school. I think everyone's pretty much back to school now. But talk to me about how you felt going through the pandemic, how you're feeling now. How do you feel that impacted your mental health and that of your peers?
So I was online at the second semester of freshman year and all throughout sophomore year. And it was pretty hard on my mental health because I couldn't see any of my friends. They couldn't see anyone either. So our means of communication was through social media, which only goes so far in helping to keep you stimulated socially. And I think my friends and I like to joke that we've been in high school for 4 years, but we've only been on campus for 3 semesters.
The whole pandemic for me, I kind of didn't have that feeling or realization until it was like almost all the way halfway through. At the very beginning, I kind of felt like, oh, this is fine and whatnot. But then I kept seeing all my friends and people I know, I see their grades drop, and I see people like as the pandemic began, and they started doing virtual school, I saw everyone, they look fine, how the camera's on and stuff. And as the year goes on, I kind of saw everyone drop off. And just talking to that kind of lost time, is very jarring to reconnect to that person and say, you know, hey man, you want to go hang out and whatnot. And then you realize they have 100 different things now, responsibilities because of the pandemic, because something happened in their family, something that happened there.
Is anyone who didn't appreciate a teacher pre-pandemic, maybe one of the only good things that come out of the pandemic is people start to have a little bit of a sense of how tough teaching is anytime, but particularly during that time. And again, for you having 3 of your own kids, trying to balance those needs is extraordinary. But maybe just share, folks, what this past year or two have been like for you as a teacher and a mom.
As a teacher, I did 151 days remote teaching. Yeah, I counted every day. And you know, I want to comment on one of the things that I'm hearing from the students, and it just kind of, your friends are why you deal with school. Like, you come to school because of your friends, and you'll deal with other things because you can see your bestie in 5th period. You know what I mean? Like, and when you didn't get to see that, a kid started just being black little boxes on the screen. And I would do things kind of silly. I would put on different hats or costumes, be like, hey guys, I'm a dork, come to class. And actually in March of 2020 I got on TikTok just so I could be like, hey guys, come to class. And it was silly. And I would do my best because really it's hard to reach kids through a screen. I just want to be like, guys, just come to class. And so that was hard teaching wise. And kids weren't used to that, and it threw them. It really threw them. And so now it's like, going into this next year, we're still in transition. And a big thing for me, and I hope many teachers, is to have just a little bit more empathy, listen a little bit more, take 5 more minutes. These kids can do it. They are motivated, but they have been kind of traumatized through all of this. And we need to have just a breath and to have more empathy.
We thank everybody for being with us today. We hope that everybody's found this, insightful and can provide some perspective to the student. Thank you so much. We hope you guys have a great rest of the day.